Good evening, folks, and welcome back to Biblical Britain Uncoded, or the heavens and the earth uncoded, really. Apologies it's been so long, but unfortunately, as you know, if you've been watching these videos, I don't dictate the kind of pace of the code. Right, but some incredible things have come. I say this, and well, I can tell you now that this is the last official, at least, a kind of part of my contract, as I'll explain as we go on. And I only know this because of one of the big code, if you like, the star code. And we're going to run through an awful lot before we get to that. Some of it a recap, but some absolute bizarre things. I say bizarre, they're just miraculous, but just showing how this just giving more credibility. That's what I'm going to try and do to what I'm saying, because what I'm saying, I never thought or believed in a million years would I ever be saying it. Right, okay, and I find some of it difficult to comprehend myself, so you're not on your own. But when you see the evidence, obviously evidence is everything. We can believe, well, I know, I'm not going to say what I'm going to say actually, because I don't want to put people off early. Right, the Bible is only a minor part of this code, and it's given me, I've got something incredible to start this off. Okay, as you can see on the board, is something absolutely ludicrous, really. I think if I spelled really, is it two L's or whichever? It's irrelevant in the code anyway. Right, there's about a year. Oh, by the way, what we're going to be doing, so hold with me, because in this video I'm going to locate Atlantis. I'm going to show you the code, and I've been led to something that I never thought, and I was nervous. I'm not going to lie, very nervous about looking into. But oh boy, am I glad it kept pinging up in front of me, but we'll get to that. But obviously, a big part of this is the key to Atlantis. I've found it, and I know the location of the original Atlantis, and to my surprise, there's actually evidence of it as well. Right, okay, firstly, right, why have I got YouTube really haunted on the board? Okay, right, this is bizarre. This is just right, okay. I don't know how long ago, about a year ago, I ended up somehow watching this kind of YouTube channel called Really Haunted. And it's a guy up north, basically, I don't know what he did. He went to Dracula's castle in Romania. Ironically, I went past that when I was doing voluntary work in Romania with children. Maybe that was a sign for the future. But he went past that. He went to the castle or something, visited, or Panari or something. I don't know what the name of it. Basically, he comes back and then he starts getting the problems with this spirit, this nasty evil spirit that claims it's Vlad Dragon, the Vlad the Impaler, basically, who claims that Lee is his brother. This guy Lee, whose channel it is, and it's comical, really. I shouldn't laugh, but poor boy, it's being harassed, terrible. But right, okay, long story short, okay, it follows him back. He's got a piece of the castle in his house. It thinks his wife, whose name actually is Stacy, is this Anastasia, his wife. He thinks that Lee is Vlad's brother that has been reincarnated, born. I don't know if that's true or not, but has been born back in, and and she's been kind of born back into this world from one vessel to another, and he's convinced that Lee is responsible for. Well, his main thing is, you killed my wife. Right, what has this got to do with anything? Right, he's calling out for help. He's tried priests, nothing works, unsurprisingly, but nothing works, basically, and he can't get rid of this thing. But it kind of captivated me, and I kind of, pretty much watched, every time he does an upload, virtually, I watch it. Now, I didn't realise, but, the first thing that happened is he also gets something out, and he even states it's like there's a good spirit, then he's bad spirit. He even questions whether it's aliens, ironically, at one point. But through this Alexa, it blurts out map 10. This is going back a few, months and months ago. Well, I thought that's weird, because like map 10, wouldn't mean anything to anybody, but to me it means a lot. And the whole thing with it is meeny meeny tackle up farsin. This is the writing on the wall, which I think is why well, as you'll see, the writing is on the wall. Meeny meeny tackle up farsin. And when I anagrammed it down, it says unmap 10, seek melon here. Now melon is the key, the shape of a key. It's had the clan added to it, which means church melon, I think it is. Church in Welsh is clan. Obviously, it's this place, right? Well, this place is in. Well, it's the key to the code of everything, including Thoth. Okay, Thoth Thoth the Atlantean wrote. There's the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. Well, right, we'll get to that. Right, okay, let's stick to this first. But this will become apparent in these Emerald Tablets. Okay, meeny unmap 10, seek melon here. I thought that's weird. So I think I even might have messaged him at the time. I said, I know what the map 10 is. He didn't see. I say message him. I put a comment. I don't think he saw it. And I just sort of kind of left there. I thought, well, if he sees it, he'll get in contact. If not, well, that's it. Okay, now, continuing on from this. Alexa spurts out, continued observation necessary. Now, I'm thinking they're talking to him. Okay. Then what happens? He starts sleepwalking. He gets out at night and he's looking at the stars, ironically. Right. And he does his sleepwalking. He goes back and he can't remember anything. Okay, weird. Then he starts, the first time then, he goes on the floor and he lays out these plates and saucepans. I think it was plates or cups and saucepans. And he lays them out and there's basically 7 and then 3 saucepans in a triangle. Well, to me, that is the star constellation. These are the 3 Sol moons, and that's the Pleiades. Please ID the 3 Sol moons. The 3 Sol moon key, the 3 Sol moons is Canaan, Egypt, Judah, and then Siluria is the moon key. Again, this will all fit into what we're going to talk about shortly. Right, so as bizarre as that is, he then starts writing binary. One time he does it, and again, he writes this binary. He doesn't even know what it means. And he admits, I have no clue what any of this is about. He says, if anyone knows, tell me. Well, I did, but obviously didn't see it. Anyway, so I thought I've sent him a few messages, and I've even messaged him on Facebook Messenger. He hasn't seen it. But I'm like, well, and you think, well, why on? And now I'm thinking, is he one of the kind of chosen or something? And I'm supposed to get this message to him. It even crossed my mind. Am I supposed to go up there and try and get rid of this spirit or something? Fortunately, that's not what it's about. Now, on it was I think it was 3 videos ago. Right, he does another binary code. He comes down in the night, he gets a pad, and he writes a load of 1 and 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. Wakes up, he has no clue what it means. So he said, the following video then, he says, I don't know what it means, but this is what I wrote, and I put it into Google and translated it, and it says, and this is when it hit me, event imminent, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. Right, well, first off, I'm not 100% sure on the 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, but if I was to... Right, but as you can see, obviously, this continued I'll show you what that means now. Continued observation necessary, I think it was telling me, well, I'm positive it's telling me to keep an eye on the channel. Obviously, I didn't understand it until I got this event imminent, and then given the strength of the map 10, which obviously... I know what it means, and the saucepan code, the saucepan plate code, I realised there must be something in it. Right, bear with me a second. Like I say, if you go to this channel, I'm not making this up. What I'm telling you is true. I've got no reason to lie, obviously, and you, like I say, you can check it. It would take a bit of finding some of it, but it's all there. And like I say, it's absolutely bizarre, but it's just showing you that I think it's done to show you that this program, this tetragrammaton program, this remote anagram satellite thing is obviously, well, it's using his electronic Alexa. I don't have one, but to get a message to me, and obviously knowing that I would be watching this program because every time he kind of loads it up. Okay, what I think the 2, 3, 5, 7, 11 means. He said it's in words and it's all in one, it's all joined together. And I like I say, I'm not, and there might be more to this, but what I see is B, letter 2 is B, 3 is C, 5 is E, 7 is G, 11 is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, 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 K. Hang on, no, that's not what I thought it meant then. C, B, G, K. Do you know what? I'm going to scratch that. I'll come. Well, if I work that out, I'll come to it because it's not that relevant in the whole thing. But the event imminent bit is, as and when I work the rest of it out, I'll kind of somehow let you know. I say this is my last official video. I don't know whether I'm going to still get code, but I've been contracted and my contract ends on the 30th of June on my birthday. I know this because the day I gave up my business, and it's been 5 years on the 30th of June on my birthday that I give it up. Obviously, that is where the RGH comes in as well. This all connects together in the most incredible way, but again, we'll come to it. If I just hold you a second, because now I'm going to show you something absolutely insane as we go down the Thoth, the wisdom of Thoth. Okay, folks, let me just move that center. As you can see, I'm using a few boards tonight. Right, okay, before I get to Thoth's key. Right, now this is all interlinked. The map that you just saw, I think you just saw on the well, you will see it now behind this board. I've got it set up. Okay, right, basically, bear in mind, I've uncoded this. There's a lot more to it, but I can't go through it all. This seal, I know for a fact, is on Edinburgh Freemason Lodge. It's built above the, I think it's above the front door. Right, okay, well, I looked into it and I've decoded it going back all the way through. There's a couple of bits that on there that I was, well, right, the biggest one was the pyramid link. Now, I've already, what's amazing about this, I already encoded all this. This code always seems to work backwards. But I uncoded this before, but now I've kind of seen, well, now I see the connection. It's absolutely crazy, because this is going to take us to Atlantis, believe it or not. Right, on the seal itself, firstly, you've got Melin. It's obviously mixed up, M-E-L-I-N. And you've also got, that's my initials as well, incredibly, not maybe nothing to do with it, but either way. Right, this is the 3 pyramid message. This is the pyramids of Giza, 1, 2, 3. Menkaure, Khafre, and Cheops. We'll come to that because that has a message for me in it. Well, I'll tell you what, it says, it says, you keep Ankh. Free Marcos H. Well, I freed it because where I am now is actually Corsham. Corsham is an anagram of Marcos H. There's more to it than that, but we'll get to it. Like I say, right, I've got to try and stay central. Okay, so firstly, you've got M-E-L-I-N. Now, you would wonder why there's the Giza pyramids, why there's a picture at the bottom of the Giza pyramid or the Great Pyramid. Well, I found the answer, and the answer is written in the emerald tablets of Thoth. Right, some guy, he was some occult, I say occult, anything not Christian is classed as a cult. Even these symbols, they would class as a cult, but they're not. They're actually ancient symbols in creation, and they're absolutely full of prophecy. Okay, as I've shown, and I'm about to, something so mind-blowing. Okay, so I come across it anyway, this, right, what happened, every time I seem to go on Facebook or YouTube to look, I'm not even looking for anything, this thing keeps popping up, the Book of Thoth, Emerald Tablets, Book of Thoth, and I'm nervous with stuff like that. Right, what I try not to do is read anything. I don't read the Bible as such. I don't read any of these ancient books. I've had a little look into them and I just come away from it. I just do, right, what I don't want to do is I don't want to use the word infect, but kind of put things into my mind, so I've got some preconceived. I like to keep my mind clear, so that when the code comes, I got a clear mind. It's not kind of influenced by outside things. But this Book of Thoth kept harassing me. So I'm thinking, is Yah trying to show me something? So I prayed, basically. I just said, look, yeah, I don't know what's going on here. This keeps cropping up, and I'm not sure whether I should be looking at it or not. Because obviously, you automatically assume Thoth and Egypt and Ra and everything else, and we know who Ra is. Ra is Satan. What we know is Satan is the serpent. It's this entity thing from the Garden of Eden, which I met, even, unbelievable as that sounds. Just go to Aries the Ram, April, unscrabble that, and it says... met Ra, arise April. Well, that's exactly what happened to me. I saw this entity, this thing, which is a parasite, basically. It leeches on. I know how it works, but anyway, without getting deep into that, because I don't want to go too paranormal, but I can assure you this thing is real. Okay, and it's been causing chaos since time began, or since the earth began. Right, now, here's where it gets strange. Okay, so I'm reading the Book of Thoth, and obviously I start looking into it. Well, first thing I note, right, I'm doing this in a different order, but one thing I noted is, right, when I drew, I'll show you how this links now, because I'll tell you straight now, it gives you instructions to draw a line from the symbol I left, I think, I'll read the actual passage, the symbol I left to the apex of the pyramid, and you unlock the key, find the key or something, to the keys to wisdom. Well, they line up the key Merlin and the pyramid of Giza. When you draw a line from the key to the pyramid, literally, it's pinpoint accurate. But it turns out there's more than one key, and there's technically it's three, two. One's a real bad key, but we'll get to that. Okay. Right, bear with me a second. Now, firstly, right, actually I can show you this. Let's get that one out of the way a minute. Okay, right, the first thing I want you to note, right, okay, 4 years ago, 2020 basically, January the 6th, 2020, I started pinpointing this map. And for whatever reasons, I kind of had these thoughts coming in my head of where to put it. I can't even explain how, but I pinpointed it, and the initial bit was this triangle here, which is like, if you look at it, it's like a ray of light coming from the holy head of Wales. I don't know if you can see this very well, but if you look at the map of Wales, look at holy head, come back from it, it's like a head with some kind of helmet on, and this thing pointing out with holy head. Okay. Right, so anyway, this is kind of the opening light that shone down to the area where you unmap 10, and the 10 lost tribes of his rule, not Israel, is the land of his rule, which is the 7, is the Sab River, changed to the 7, but we'll get in, well, I've done plenty on that, but it's the River Sab, basically, where you took your Sab bath, in Jerusalem, basically, and there's a river, the Nedden, the River of Eden, that flows up to the fort, which is somewhere. Merlin is somewhere around. Oh, it's hard to show it on this map, as you can tell. So, but the key is somewhere here, and the lock and all and everything is there. But what it does, when you put it out, you've got the two stars there, the fort, the lock and the key, the two forts. Then you got. In there, you've got this Cancer constellation that I draw on a template of the temple, which we'll be doing. Right, stick with me. Even if this is complicated, please stick with me, because regardless, you're going to see something miraculous. First thing to note, I can't really turn the board, but what you've got is a pyramid. This represents the Great Pyramid and the Eye of Horus. Right, the reason it's kind of it's kind of lopsided, but it's kind of looking this way. Okay, now here's where it gets incredible. When I first started, for whatever reason, I didn't know at the time, but I wrote something on here that ties directly with this Thoth. Right, I wrote at Land's End, 'tis, or it's at Land's End, depending which way you got, and then. Which is Atlantis, basically, and the added words are DSENDS, which makes it's like Land's End 'tis, or like old speak, I suppose, or it's Land End if you reverse it. And then they've got the I've even written it DSENDS. Right, that is going to become apparent to the end of this video. Okay, right, but before we get there, So what we've got, and it's a little bit confusing because you've got obviously Solomon's seal. You've got a gigantic shark, if you look that way. That's his mean looking eye, and he's kind of all wrapped up there. But there's also this bow as well. This is a bow, and this is the first bit I drew. And I Port Talbot, Bolt at Port, B Recon, Brecon, B Recon, Abertillery, which is B Artillery. And then what I did, I drew this, and I think you put your fingers in the eye, you pull it down, you fire the bolt, and this is the arrowhead seal that we later drew on, which gave us the seal for the ladder. Right, again, I know this is going to be complex for a lot of people, especially even, well, it might be a bit complex anyway. But the biggest point of this is I want to just point out that I drew the Great Pyramid of Giza, not even knowing why. I am Welsh. That's because the G is your map ID is Gymru. Giza, oh, right, okay, we'll come to it, right. But I wanted to note, I drew this. And I drew, this was the Ankh. I even explained all this in a video. The initial bit was down to there, you see I've got the lines there. Then this thing comes in, and that's the kind of curly bit. But I drew this there. Now at the time of drawing it, and I even stated it in the videos I did with it, I said it was the Ankh of Anubis, mainly because I didn't really know much about Thoth. Okay, right, this is, I don't know if you can see it. Okay, this is where I got it from. This is Anubis. As you can see, he's got like a dog head, but he's holding the Ankh in one hand, and he's got the staff in the other. And you can see like those two little. Hang on, let me just get back in. If you look at the bottom of the staff, you see like it clips onto something. That's why I put it onto the Ankh and drew it. Okay, I think there's far more to this, but he represents death, okay, or 6, okay. But what I didn't realise, what I didn't realise was that on the other side of it, this is Thoth. As you can see, he's got the ibis head, the Egyptian crane, which is, I could get into more detail with that, but okay, but what you'll notice, he holds the same staff. So what you've got is a key. What they are the keys. They're like kind of both represent. One represents 9, Thoth, as I'll show you, and Anubis represents 6. So you've got the life and death cycle kind of thing, and well, garden, and it's all to do with the halls of Amenti. Right, without confusing it, but all I wanted to show you first, before we go any further, is that I drew this without any knowledge of it. And when I drew this map, incidentally, 3 years later after drawing it and uncoding a load of stuff, which you can follow the trail if you watch the videos. I mean, the coding's not the best in the first bit. It's kind of a learning curve, and me trying to work out what on earth was happening to me and what was going on and why. And I really did, but anyway. Okay, but when you take all the place names like Sheffield, Ipswich, Cromer, Holywell, I think it is, I don't know, Bognor Regis, Exeter, and this, the cornerstone of Egypt, is on a corn wall. This is Egypt as well. Okay, right, okay, it's the original Egypt. Sounds crazy, I know, but stick with me because I'm about to break something open again that just more than backs it up. All right, but those place names on there, what they actually said, now, just before I opened this, I'd uncoded the constellations of the fish, basically, and all the sea creatures. Because in the book of Job, it says, speak to the fish and they will teach thee. Well, when I unscrambled the constellation, what it says is tied the fish, solved, Coelin. Coelin is the real Solomon. Solved, Coelin, Welsh, and they're all in a line with like a sort of... like a kind of list. Solved. Coelin, Welsh Fort Seal, RGH sign, exit ship, Orion Wonder Pyramid, which is this, but I'm about to even add more to it, and the Rainbow Code. The Rainbow Code tells you about the Argus ship coming. I forget it, but use all the colours basically in the rainbow and unscrabble it, and it tells you about the evac. Right, okay, now. Right, okay, so like I say, that's the map, and the unmapped 10 as well, Seek Melin here, like I say, these are all the different tribes. They're the Cornavai, the Dumnonai, the Regnensis, the Iceni, This used to be called Kaya Went as well, by the way, Norfolk, which is ironic considering you got a line from Atlantis up. It's kind of done full circle. Sheffield, Holyhead, St David's, but basically it's in the Giza Pyramids, Part 2 Orion, Gumri Wonderbelt, Rainbow, Job's Dart Uncoded video. So the Giza Pyramids, Part 2 Orion. If you look for that and watch that, that will explain it all. Okay, moving on, let's look into Thoth. Okay, folks, before we get to, unfortunately, before we get to Thoth, I need to show you this. But this is just as important as the whole thing with Thoth. Right, hang on, I've just got to try and get this. I've got a new camera system. I'm going to move the camera a little easier, but I need to show you, I'm going to show you map tricks as well, but I'm going to show you first the star map tricks. Map tricks is matrix with a P. The P you unlock using the padlock at the temple, and then you add P lock, put the P into the word matrix, and it becomes map tricks. Okay, so what we're undoing is coding the map tricks as above, so below. Well, there's a star map tricks or a constellation map tricks, and there's a earth matrix or map tricks, and Thoth talks about this as well. What I want to say about Thoth as well. First thing that I noted, well, never mind when I got to the first bit, well, it'll blow your mind what he says, but when I got the first, after that, I was still a bit nervous. But one thing I note with Thoth is he always refers to the all. He calls, well, he's obviously talking about Yah, but he's talking about the source and Yah. He doesn't call him God, not once. This is one thing that tells me he's genuine. He doesn't put himself above it. He says he was a high priest of Atlantis, but obviously he's a priest, and what he is a priest to Yah. Okay, like I say, I know this sounds crazy, but as you'll see, this will all start to piece together. Now, why are the pyramids are so important? We've always been led to believe that the pyramids are in Egypt. They're not, and that was the other thing. He never refers once to Egypt, or what we know as Egypt today, as Egypt. He calls it Kem, the land of Kem. And the bottom line, the basic story is that he was a high priest in Atlantis. Right, now, right, what he says is that basically, I don't know how he does it, he comes to Earth basically, he must be born in. And this is, well, I think this is the same as me. It's like my consciousness has been put into a body, but I've been asleep and then woken up. Well, he basically volunteers to come to Earth and he wants to learn the wisdom. He goes to people to learn the wisdom, and then to teach men, basically. And what they do, they build this fantastic civilization, Atlantis, which we're going to identify where it was. Okay, but what he says is, then he basically, men in their seek of knowledge, there's a pattern that starts forming, men in their knowledge basically looking to extend their knowledge further. Basically, he opened up this portal to the underworld demonic portal. I don't know whether it's an actual place or I still, folks, I'm no expert on this spiritual type stuff, but it's either he opened the portal and these things, whatever they are, these demonic entities come through, basically, and the whole place, instead of being, because I think there's probably pyramids on where this place was, and it's not Plato's. I'm about to prove that a lie as well. It's not where he said it was. That's a deception. But basically, they've opened up a portal, and then what happens is Atlantis basically gets sunk under the waves. Okay, now he is told to go basically gather the records from the halls of Amenti, and basically go to the land of Kem, and basically he calls them cave dwellers and sand and cave dwellers or something, basically, and then teach them and get them. So what he does, second time, because these beings from these they're definitely interacting, and this is the bit of history that's been hidden. I don't know how this is possible, but this is what's coming back, these beings that help humanity. They come back and they rebuild Egypt, and what I believe the pyramids are probably what a lot of people think they're some kind of energy source, and I believe that, and I think this, and he says he sends out people to other parts of the world, I guess, like South America, and I'm assuming even China. you've got pyramids, basically, and I think there's some sort of energy grid. And I really do believe it. And the whole world is brilliant. You know, it's kind of brilliant, not evil like it's made out to be. Now, what happens is, same thing as in Atlantis, the children of Chem open up, do the same thing, open up this portal, something goes horrifically wrong, and then the upshot of it is this time and when the flood in Atlantis came, closed the portal, or closed the gate, or whatever, the portal to the halls below, and filled it in, basically. So it was locked back in. But these children of Chem, or Egypt, whoever they were at the same time, and I don't think they're the Egyptian people of today. But either way, they open up this portal again. Lo and behold, something's gone on. Exactly what, I don't know, but anyway, the whole world gets flooded. And he says he left his spaceship under, well, I'll read it to you, it sounds bizarre, but he's told to take the records in a spaceship, go to the children of Chem. He buries his spaceship deep beneath the pyramid, I think it is. I'm not sure, but that may be code as well for the Atlas starship, because all this links together. Right, before I get there, I just want to, what this last code says, and how this code finishes, I just want people to see that like I say, you can make your own mind up, but I just don't want anyone thinking that I'm just making this stuff up, because there's so much more to it, and I want you to see how these things connect. Okay, in the heavens, the matrix, right, I've done it like this, right, these are constellations, the blue to blue. The first thing to know is that, right, when you anagram the entirety of, I'm not sure if I spelled that right, I think it is, but it's the right letters, as whether in the right order, the Pleiades, but right letters. But when you anagram that down, what it actually says is, see Heaven's Reset split IDs. That's Pleiades on its own. Okay. Right, the first one we're going to do, right, I'll do it from the top down, the pyramid one first, and then the bullseye, but like I say, it is absolutely nuts. This is relevant to the pyramid code. Orion the Hunter. Now, what you do is you go across through Taurus the Bull, and there's a star called Prima Hyadum. Okay, so you use Orion the Hunter, then you use the star Prima Hyadum, and then the Pleiades, the Seven Sisters. You anagram the literally every letter in that, obviously every letter in that, including the whole thing. It's always the same. What it says is, see the Orion Messiah's Pyramid ID truth. Please run H event. Right, like I say, we're going to get more into this because it all connects together. But as you can see, there's clearly, okay, and if you think it's luck, you'll see this over and over and over. Right, on the next line down, you go Orion the Hunter. This is the next kind of star down on the bull's, no, this is the bullseye. Right, now bear in mind, I've got a dart on the map that hits the bullseye, and it says, that actually says something about connect Orion belt, Corsham names me. The code in the dart, that is. Okay, but Orion the Hunter, Aldebaran, the bullseye star, and Pleiades the seventh sister. Okay, when you unscrabble it, it says what's written on this section in black. It says, he's seen Orion's riddle, this will become apparent, the Atlas Starship, and when you see the last code, you'll know why I'm showing you this. The Atlas Starship, which is the Argus, well, it's the Argus Navis, ARGUS, named after the constellation of the ancient ship, the Argus Navis. This is the evac ship that's coming to the bullseye, which is on the temple at Jerusalem. Okay, so it says, he's seen Orion's riddle, the Atlas Starship, and a Nibiru event. Nibiru, this is the Babylonian spelling for the planet of the crossing, the final act, basically, and this is why there's an evac. Once the war kicks off, which is about to happen, so I don't think we're far away, hence me saying about the event imminent bit being quite, well, like we'll see what happens, but okay, so when you add Orion's ring, it says, I take angels all in a belt. Right, you keep Ankh, free Marcos H. Okay, it also says, you keep Ankh, the Ankh then goes, it makes the angel, I can't go through it all, but it's all in code on there. But it says, but it also says, you keep Ankh, Marco Marco's H3 or something. Right, okay, let's stick with it. You keep Ankh, free Marcos H. Marcos H is also an anagram of Corsham, so you could have you keep Ankh, free Corsham. Now, the line that I'm going to show you between the pyramids and the key on the map shortly actually runs through the side of Corsham. Okay, and not far from exactly where I work now, which ties up with the Vatican key, but that's right, we'll come to that. Okay, so first thing you've got is Marcos H. Right, then you've got, on that Melian symbol, you've got this. That tick thing is there. But what it is the two pyramid question. I've uncoded it. Again, I think it's on that same Giza Pyramids Part 2. I'm sure it's on there. But what you've got is a G is IZ. I know it's a Z, but there's a bigger code. I forget what it is, but if you go to that video, it'll tell you, and it names the Argus and the LZ. But when you combine it with the pyramids of that and all the pyramid names together. But it says a G is your map ID. Well, my map ID is G is Gymru. Gymru is Mr. Guy. Gymru is the Welsh word for Wales. Hence the Gymru Wonder Belt code. Then you go to you can never say this. Teotihuacan or Teotihuacan, the pyramid in South America of the sun and the moon. The Sol moon gives it away. Well, Sol and moon gives you Solomon. Okay, and then it says, can you, because it's all connected together, can you tie, and notice it says YR, there's a reason for that, and I'll show you now, your map ID to a H. This is an exact anagram of Teotihuacan pyramids. This is an exact of Giza pyramid. Put the two together, that's asking the question. The answer is yes. You just take the tick thing from the bottom and just tick the pyramids off. Okay. Right, okay. Again, I can't go into this, but just quickly so you can see it. You've got your YR and your YR. Okay. There's the Y and the R. Y is the upside down. All you do is you spin it. That gives you a Cancer constellation. They're the two forts. That's the moon target, the bullseye. You've got the Royal Arch, R, Jerusalem, G, and the Hill Fort, H. H is the key, G is the lock. If you haven't seen it, I'll be showing it shortly. Anyway, basically, and you use this template with the temple symbol of Solomon and basically connect it together. But the key unlocks the padlock, which unlocks the map tricks on the ground. I hope you're following this, folks. I know it's complicated, but just take heed of the messages I'm putting out there. Okay, the Argus Mel as well. Mel is honey. It's also honey. I forget the codes with that. There's something. I forget that. But it's to do with the honey, the beehive constellation on Cancer as well. Mel is the Welsh word for honey. Just has this little flick above it, I think. And the Argus, so it's I forget the entire code. Like I say, there's so many codes I could show you. It's mind-boggling. Okay, right, I just want to run that by you before we get to the next bit, and it's going to get more extraordinary than even this is just kind of warming up. But the rest is hopefully a little bit more understandable because I can show you on the map. Okay, bear with me a second. Okay, folks, right, as you can see, I don't know how well you can see this because I'm side on to the camera. Right, bear with me a second. Right, what you've got in front of you, or should be, are the Giza pyramids. There we are, those two. Okay, this is two of the three. This is the Great Pyramid, and this is Menkaure, and then you've got Khafre out of line at the bottom. Okay, the Gymru Wonder Belt code, and it is a wonder belt because this leads to what you will not believe. Well, okay, right now this is the first part of the Book of Thoth that hit me. Okay, right, and obviously you realised like why I'm being shown it. It says, right, now Thoth has written this. Now he's gone over there and he's left this. He says, know ye that in the pyramid I builded are the keys, because there's more than, there's technically is three, but there's two definite, three of them that link, but two especially. Okay, that I builded are the keys that shall show you the way into life. I draw ye a line from the great image I builded to the apex of the pyramid, built as a gateway, right? The gateway is the Royal Arch in Cancer, okay, which is what with the RGH I drew. Okay, draw ye another opposite in the same angle and direction. Dig ye and find that which I have hidden. There it shall he find the underground entrance to the secret hidden before he were men. Right, now he's saying keys. Right, now here's where it gets incredible. I'm going to just click out of that because I don't want this collapsing, but that'll give you a better idea. So these are basically, or these are absolute smack on the center or the apex of the pyramid. And actually, if you notice that they both line up perfectly with this line here. Right, now if we follow this one first, the Great Pyramid, right, we're looking for a key. Well, I got to go 2,000, I think it is, I don't know, 2,000 miles probably across the ocean for the first key. I will explain the codes in a little bit more detail because it's more than just the key. But as you can see, the fort, Melin, or Clan Melin, as you can see it there, Clan Melin, which is the Melin key, which is why you've got the pyramid, the Great Pyramid, and obviously the code for Melin on the solid. So what he's doing, this is his key of wisdom. Okay, now the key of mystery is also, well, when you unscrabble the word key of mystery, it actually, yes, my fort key. Okay, so he's also, he's obviously talking to me because he's somehow, and I've got more evidence of this, knows my name in, well, that is even possible, I do not know, but clearly I'm encoded into this, and obviously the one, well, like I say, I don't even know how to explain it myself, but there's more to this yet. Okay, so strike one, this is the Melin key, okay? Now we'll come back to that because this key, we need, right, how do I do this? Right, the real map is Swindon, Exeter and Holyhead. And when it comes down, you come down and you go, the two little stars, what we're doing, I don't even want to mess this up really. Which way did I do it? Oh, I can't do it. Right, let me do the second key and then we'll come back to it. Sorry folks, it's just like I say, where are we? We don't want the Vatican one. We want, right, this one. Right, click that. Right, now let's follow the other key. Right, I'll explain the first key because it gives you the Siluria key, which is important. The land of Siluria, not Israel, not Israelites, Siluri and Siluria. Okay, so again, what we've done, this is the first, I hope you can see this. Yeah, this is the first line. Now what we're going to do is follow the second line and see where this one goes from the second pyramid along. The one opposite, follow a line in the same direction. Well, to my astonishment, now if you remember on the first map, I put Atlantis. Right, what I was doing was prophesying without even realising it with all of this, because I never thought that we would end up here. But Land's End, it lines up absolute. It's a bit of a mishmash here because let's straighten it up a bit, bear with me. Which one's that? I've doubled it up, that's all. Is that one on target? Yep. We've got a double line, but it's only because I don't know why I've cut back through it. So that one there, that's why. Right, let's just point it there. Okay, right, now here's where the key, right? What I want you to know, right, firstly, for this key, well, we need both keys. We need the Siluria key, which is the other one, in the land of the Siluri, the kingdom of Siluria. Okay, but what we've got is the K key, Kemet, K, Egypt, which is Cornwall, which is in the other key as well, which I'll show you when we get on the board. This is Egypt, the original, the real Egypt that they switched to hide basically the biblical Holy Land. Okay, so what we're going to use, unbelievably, is a place called Marazion. We're going to follow it through Land's End, and where it hits is what is now, I use this word now, because by some miracle I found, well, the Scilly Isles is actually well, in old ancient Cornish, is known as lethoso. Again, we're going to use all these names. So and what I've done, because you need, obviously it's a key. So you've got Kemet, Egypt, and then Wales being Judah, which is the same as the Siluric key, which I'll show you on the board in a second, which is Canaan, England. Well, it's Canaan. Canaan is England. It's pointed on Swindon. Egypt is Exeter. This is how you get the middle map. And then Holyhead is Judah, Key, Canaan, Egypt, Judah. Okay, the switch, biblical holy lands. Okay, but he says to seek for the light will guide you, or words to that effect, basically. Well, this is the light, the Holyhead, looks down, and basically, and what it's doing is identifying, go to Land's End, literally, and then go across here. Because Atlantis, believe it or not, is at the bottom of the Isles of Scilly, that even to this day are sinking, believe it or not. But like I say, we'll get into that because there's more code involved in it. But this is the location of the real Atlantis that's sunk under the sea. To my astonishment, I actually found the legend of the city of Lethoso, or Lyonese, I think it is. They call it both, that basically sunk to the bottom of the ocean, and it's been sinking since goodness knows when. So deep under the waves went Atlantis. This is where Atlantis is. Now let's go, right, now that's the two map codes for that. I'll come back to the third one actually, because that's astonishing on the last code. Right, okay, bear with me a second, folks. Okay, folks, bear with me a second. We need to get a bit square here. Unfortunately, it pauses in between and freezes the screen, so I can't adjust it. As you can see, I can encode anything practically, but I've got no technical knowledge at all. Bear with me a second, folks. Let me just put you down a minute. I've got using a tripod to try and get the camera going. Right, bear with me. So I can show you the maps easier rather than shaking people to death. Right. Oh, come on. Yeah, uncode anything. Got no technology ability whatsoever. In fact, how I've managed to even pull this off is a miracle in itself. Right, that'll do for now. Right, let me just put the light on a second. Hopefully we won't have any glare off the board. Okay, I had to keep it off for the map because... Ah, brilliant. Okay, I'm just going to have to lower this. Hang on, let me just redo this map while we got it on camera. Okay, folks, a bit wonky, but right, okay. Right, what you've got in front of you is a template. The Solomon's seal, the temple seal, where you've got the checkered floor with the black knight is the secret, right, anyway. Right, what you've got, it's basically a map template. You've got to create it, or I've had to create it, or I've been shown how to create it. Firstly, you take Canaan, Swindon, Egypt, Exeter, and then Judah, which is, it's Judah, Anglesey, Holyhead. Okay, because on the map you draw this there. These are the two, and what you've got is the constellation of Cancer. It's upside down, and all it's done is straightened it out on the map, so you can use it, instead of using the map, it just uses it as a template, which is why it's a temple at Mon. Temple at Mon is an anagram of template Mon, and what it is a Cancer template on Mon's temple. Bear in mind that these forts are in Monmouthshire, or the Kingdom of Mon, or what was the Kingdom of Mon, that's all been hidden by the Vatican. Okay, the fish code, by the way, said ancient South Wales history hid in the depth of the Vatican. That was the first part of it. And the Atlas code on the same video said ancient Welsh Bible rewritten. There was more to it than that, but you'd have to check it, go back. But what you've got is Canaan, Egypt, Judah. And what this one is Siluria. This is the real kingdom of the old, what would have been the Old Testament or the ancient Welsh Bible, but was rewritten, put into Hebrew, and then somehow got transferred over to a load of people that don't realise that they're being deceived, basically. Okay, so you've got K-E-Y and S, so keys, K-E-Y-S, because this key is the Siluria key. So this is the land of Siluria, the land of the Siluri. This is the fort, Jerusalem, the stone fort, which is, I don't think you can see it, but it's let's put it there. Right, if you want to find this and find it's got massive walls and everything still standing, it's one of the best fortifications, but obviously they've hushed, and that was the other bit, she hushes up Jerusalem. Well, Coent is Jerusalem. So it's Coent, well, yeah, I hate to use this word, but they've got it as a Roman temple, wasn't built by the Romans, was built by David Caradoc ap Bran, who was basically King David. But they've taken off the David, and his Solomon would be Coelin ap Caradoc, his son. But what they've done is they pulled these out forward in time to match the coming of Jesus, to hide it all, basically. Right, okay. And if you think Jesus is real and everything else, and he was crucified, and he's the Messiah, wait till you see the final code. Because that is blatantly you'll see what I mean. If you're Christian, please don't run away, and see the miracle in this first, and then tell me if you think I'm wrong. Okay, and the fort itself, if you go either Coent Roman fort or as it's been renamed, is Venta Silurum. All this is coded as well. There's a million, I could go into so much detail. Right, but for this, all I want to show you, right, Thoths key. So it points to this key. Okay, because the first key, now this, the Siluria key, literally, the word, the Siluria key, combined with the other place names, Land's End, which I'll write them all down now. Then you unscrabble the message, and what it tells you is absolutely amazing. Notice he also talks of one to come in the womb later, or something, or see something unborn yet in the womb. Well, I was in the womb at the RGH Temple House, the Royal Gwent Hospital, or the Royal Arch Jerusalem Hill Fort, or if on the actual map it would be the River Sab, River, Jerusalem, and the Hill Fort. Okay, it's all part. This is why the RGH. I came in on the RG through the Royal Gwent Hospital. I was taken from the temple, interestingly and amazingly, in a 999 emergency, which will become apparent. Taken to the RGH, and I was born into this world. June the 30th coming up, and that is going to be a significant day, I think. I don't know, well, let's see, but June the 30th 1970 I was born in the Royal Gwent Hospital, then brought back to the Temple House, and so on, so forth. And 50 years later I end up back there, and my contract starts doing this, and here we are. Okay, this is the important bit. So the first key of Thoth is this one, which is the key that gives you the keys to it's two, which opens up another key by using this word. Okay, bear with me a second. Right, bear with me a second, folks, because I've changed this now to. And it's not even. I don't know whether this is better or worse. Right. Sorry, folks. Okay. The Siluria key, because like I said, you need the first key to break the code, and the second key. Okay, what you use is literally from this map. You've got Marazion, sorry, I'm poking at the screen. You've got Marazion, Land's End, Lethoso, Land's End, Marazion. The Siluria key obviously is the key that you need to break this code, and obviously the Atlantic Ocean. Obviously it's called Atlantis, so that's kind of a giveaway that you know is in the Atlantic Ocean. When I checked on this, and I found Lethoso by looking into Lyonese, I think it's called, Lyonesse. But when you look at it, ancient, and there's a legend of a sunken city. Basically, they reckon you can hear the cathedral bells or something ringing underneath the water. But I think but they did a thing, and they said it was inhabited they're clearly covering it up. But and apparently it's still sinking to this day, this thing. So it's going to be deep beneath the waves, as it describes. All your Plato and everything else is a load of nonsense. They're lying to you. Okay, right. When you anagram the Silurian key, the Atlantic Ocean, Lethosau, which is the Cornish name, the ancient Cornish name for the Isles of Scilly. Land's End, Marazion. What you get is I am Thoth, Atlantis H key. H is obviously the RGH, is the Siluria key. Razion curse, ocean swallow land. Tai Eden. Right, why Tai Eden? Because the curse of Ra started at Kaiawent on the right. Again, I might just show this in a minute on the map. But what you've got is basically you've got a mound right. Literally, well, if you line up the key, not through literally downward, go through the padlock, and it points to this. There's a mound basically, and it's in the shape literally of an apple. Hopefully I can show you on the map before we're done. And the lock as well, because like I say, this is all map tricks, folks. Now the key is again amazing. Atlantis, Kemet, the real Egypt, which is Cornwall, and Uda being Wales, basically. And then what you've got is the kingdom of Mon in Monmouthshire, which is where Jerusalem, Eden, and the temple of Mon's only temples, Temple of Solomon, or Solochin in Mon's temple, Solochin in Mon's key. You'd have to go back on other codes to see it, because I'll be all day if I keep going. But what you've got is Atlantis, Kemet, Egypt, Uda, a key, A-K-E-Y. It's a key to unlocking the three kind of places, the things. The next key unlocks, right, this Siluria key is amazing, because it unlocks now the current halls of Amen-Ra, okay, which the word, he talks of the halls of Amenti, which is the kind of gate between life and death. Now, right, Amenti is an anagram of name it. Okay, so I'm going to name, what I will do is name where the current halls of Amenti are, and the records of Atlantis, where they're kept. But, well, I can tell you now, it's the Vatican. And what's worrying as well is that the Pope, before he died, I don't know whether this is actually relevant, but he said he opened a portal, and then not long later died. And I do wonder, I mean, they're already worshipping the snake, but as I will show you, and that's what this warning is all about. But this is kind of the third time. We had basically this with, Atlantis was taken down by fire. Then you had the Great Flood, which is Kemet, or Kemet was the cause of the Great Flood, where they opened these gates. The last one is fire. FFF is also 666, so it's kind of the halls of death and Anubis. Right, and I think what happened in there is this Amen-Ra this Ra creature gets in. I'm trying to work it out a little bit. Gets on. I think it's parasitic, and he gets onto this person called Amun, A-M-U-N. Once he gets onto him, he changes his name to Amen-Ra. This is where you get Amun-Ra and Amen-Ra. His name changes. But once he becomes, this parasite takes hold of him, I think I don't know. I think he's encouraged him to open up the gate. This portal that's caused the Great Flood does make me question the fallen angel story as well, because I don't know. Maybe not. I don't want to comment too much on it, but the Bible is not what you think. It was rewritten, so the truth is not, what we think is holy is not holy. In fact, it's far from it, and I'm about to expose some more lies. Okay, bear with me. We're going to go back to the map, and I will show you how to find the halls of Amenti, or the current hall of Amenti, the hall of life and death. Okay, folks, back to the map tricks. Okay, let me just get this in line. I don't know how well you're going to see this. Where are you, Vatican? Okay, right. This is right. I think this is going to be difficult to see, but I'm hoping you can see this. Okay, the Vatican, believe it or not, is done in the shape of a key. Apparently, this aligns with Orion as well, but I'm not sure of how. But I'm only going by what somebody else, a different channel, did. But either way, it makes no difference. Okay, the first thing, let me just show you the Hall of Amen-Ra. And the reason I'm showing this, I'm actually doing it in reverse, because the final code says, where is it? Well, I'm not going to tell you exactly what it says, but the full thing, but it says line up Thoth key with Melin, which we've done, uncode the Vatican Hall of Amen-Ra. You'll see where this code comes from. It's a massive star code that lines up, but right, okay, well let's just look at it. Right, firstly, let me just see if you can see this. Right, I don't know how well you can see it, but what you've got this. This is the kind of, there's a cross on the end of it. There's the cross. Then it goes through the obelisk if you follow it down and line it up. But what you've got is this building here. As you can see, well, I don't know well you can see it, but it's actually in the shape of a serpent's head. Now, when you look at it from the inside, it is blatant, well, so blatant that it's frightening that people don't see it. Now, bear in mind, the church is following the little fish that grew into Leviathan, which is the kind of biblical name for Rome, basically. Or Leviathan Rome is an anagram of more than a veil. I can't even make this any bigger. But this is the inside of that meeting hall. Now, what if you look at it and you tell me, if you were truly the Vatican and not worship, not doing snake worship and not blink, but this is right in front of your face. You've got a set of fangs. There's the snake's eyes. It's clearly done as a reptile, and then what you've got, the Pope, or the current Pope, the mouthpiece of the serpent, sits on this horrific demonic statue. Which, well, kind of shows, I don't know whether it shows Jesus going down, being ripped apart by demons or something. I don't know what it's supposed to represent. But if you were the Vatican and you were, and even if somebody, I'm being stupid, but hypothetically, if I became Pope and I saw that, and I was genuinely worshipping the creator, the real creator of everything, and the one true creator, and I realised that this building looked like a serpent from the inside, I would have torn it down. You would have torn it down no matter what the cost, and rebuilt another one that would have been, obviously, but they're not, because it's blatant and in your face. This is the worship of the serpent, and the church is just blindly following the head of the serpent. Okay, right, okay, the Vatican meeting hall, right, let's go back. Right, okay, so there we connect it. Now we follow the key. Right, so if I follow the key and I go straight from the centre of this, through the obelisk, follow it down, I don't know if, well, you can see this, but it comes to this star-shaped kind of roads are made into deliberately made into this star shape. I've uncoded this before, this code within these grounds as well. It's on the Vatican, I forget which one, but Vatican Lies or something, I forget. But basically what you do is you line up the centre of the key. As you can see, I lined it up. I've done it in reverse actually, and it's pinpoint. Okay, so to line us up and unlock the Amen-Ra key, what we're going to do is follow where this goes. Now, what we're going to do is go thousands of miles away again, and it lands in pinpoint Oslo. Now, Oslo is an anagram of Solo. So from Solo, we go to Mons Key, which is the hill fort. Now, what's incredible from here, if I follow this to where I'm actually working now, bear with me. Try getting the spelling right, bear with me. My eyesight's not the best, folks, bear with me. Not close range, I've got contact lenses. Okay, right. I am in where is that? Oh, I've come from the other end. Right, bear with me, I'm going to have to draw the key back. Let me just let's double it up. Right, actually, do you know what? Let's do it the other way round. Let's clear it. Just show you how pinpoint this is. Let's go to Rome. Okay, so, right, let's pinpoint slightly out because we're looking down. So we need to go through the obelisk, through the key, directly to there. Okay, so it go pinpoint center, which you cannot see because the camera's in the wrong place. Right, let's try again. Right, so as you can see, what I've done is I've followed this. This is the meeting hall. So I've used the cross there, follow it through the obelisk, go to the end. This is the second part of the key. I don't know if you can see it. The road makes this star. Then what I'm going to do is go all the way up to Oslo, Norway, and pinpoint it. Let's do it on the word. It might be slightly off because you obviously got to bear with me. Let's have a look. Oh, look at that. Absolute pinpoint precision through the end of the star. So from Oslo, let me click out of that because it'll crash otherwise. I'm waiting for it. Okay, so then what we're going to do is go from Oslo or Solo, and we're going to connect it to, where are you? Chepstow. You can see the precision of this because I'm even finding it sometimes. Ah, there it is. We're going to go directly to the key. From the key, I'm going to pinpoint where I am here now. Where am I? I'm just hoping you're still seeing this, folks. What I've done is I've pinpointed it directly on the hut that I'm in, literally now. And because with the slightest adjustment, it will either point at the pyramids, or incredibly, it will point exactly where I am now. If you take the words Citadel del Vaticano, what you actually get is see it, and that's a letter C, but you use the C on the word King Solomon's key, so lock in Mon's key when you unscrabble the letter in, and then it says led at Octavian. Well, the company I work for, I shouldn't probably tell you this, but I don't think it's going to matter for much longer. And that's where I am right now. As you can see, Octavian Wine Services. So see it, so lock in Mon's key, led at Octavian. But obviously I've found the hall of, and what that is the hall of Amenti. The current hall of Amenti is the hall of Amen-Ra. Okay. You'll see what I mean now when we uncode, well, when I get into the next code. I mean, there's so much more I could show you, folks, but right, let me just come out of this and pause you, and we'll go into the next part of the code. Okay, folks. All right, again, bear with me. Let me just adjust this camera. Okay, I wasn't going to do this, but let's take advantage or use it while we're at it. Okay, just so you can see the miracle in all of this. And you got to question how I find this. Well, I don't find it really. It finds, well, they just put it into my head. I go there and I find these things. Right, you know, obviously, well, what we know is the Masonic 33. 33 is a code for CC. Okay, what you do is you add the C to King Solomon's temple, and then the second C goes to King Solomon's key. Literally anagram it down. It says, so lock in Mon's temple, so lock in Mon's key. Now Mon's temple and Mon's key obviously connect, and they point to the apple. We'll get to that hopefully. Okay, but ultimately, right, just to show you there's no coincidence, Citadel Vaticano, the name of the Vatican, which I can literally connect it from the Vatican to where I work. And obviously we are identifying as well the Hall of Amenti, which we'll come to shortly. Well, I've already identified it, but it's in the next code. Okay, so Citadel Vaticano is an exact anagram of see it, so lock in Mon's key, that's what I did, led at Octavian. The exact company that I actually work for now is Octavian, guarding wine of all things in a bunker. Unbelievable. Right, okay. I've gone off track a little bit with that. Let's go. Right, now we're going back to the star codes. Bear with me a second. Yeah, no, I'm perfect. Okay, folks. Right, okay. Before I get to the main code, unbelievably, we haven't got there yet, but what I've done is basically when you see the final code, you will realise that all this put together is impossible. And most of it, really a lot of this, the Thoths stuff, I only just discovered it obviously in the last couple of weeks, not even that. Well, let me explain this first. Okay. Last part of the Thoth code, other than the kind of summary. Right, what he says at the end, or somewhere towards the end, he says, blend thou thy soul in the great essence, one with the great light, let thy consciousness be. Call thou on me when thou dost need me, use my name 3 times in a row. Then he says, Chekatet, Alec, and Formalities. Okay, so, I thought that's a bit weird because his name's Thoth. So and to be honest, I did not expect this to come up with anything. So I put Thoth, Chekatet, Alec, Formalities. Once I start encoding it, I realise exactly what it's saying. Okay, when you literally anagram this down, Marco, so on and so forth. Marco, and bear in mind, he's called me Marco even in the pyramid, so he must know who I am. Well, he knew who I was and who was going to uncode this. A G is your map ID, Gumry's anagram, Mr. Guy. You literally can pull out my full name from not only the pyramids, from Solomon's symbols, from everything. Okay, Marco tied the quest H to the evac hill. Okay, quest H, okay, but it's times 3. Well, the 3, I suppose main codes is the H is the hill fort key, which is the main key, a key of Solomon. H-man, same as H. Obviously, it points to the place Corsham, Marco's H. You've got the spear coming down from Holy Island as well, without getting into that, but that basically goes through Manchester and then hits the key, and that's Manchester is an anagram of secret H-man. Same, and H is same as H is actually Messiah. Okay, then you've got the H is the hospital. Well, it's in Castle, right? The place, the RGH is in Newport, which is Casnewydd, which is apparently Welsh Newport. But, well, you've got a port as well for the ship, I suppose. But all you do is add the word evac. So you've got a Casevac. The Royal Gwent Hospital is the code, not only for me coming into the world, from the temple to the hospital, and then back to where I live now, just outside, 10 minutes, not even that, 5 minutes from the temple. And then you've got the RGH code. It's like the portal in and the kind of code for the portal out. So you've got the Casevac RGH, which is the hospital. Okay, why have I put this? You saw the first codes where I used the star constellations. Well, in the book of Job, which is one of the ones that has definitely been taken out of the ancient Welsh Bible, they reckon it's the oldest book in the Old Testament. Well, that one seems to be, I don't know whether it's completely intact, but it just, to anyone else, it would just be a load. But the code in it is phenomenal. And the secret of the Old Testament, or the rewritten, even though it's encoded in it, is in the book of Job. Because it's the 999 job, and Job 99 tells you who makes Orion, Arcturus, and the Pleiades. Okay, so when I did exactly the same as I did on the first one, I took Orion the Hunter, Arcturus, which is a star, and incidentally in the Boots constellation, which is so to be the Boots the herdsman, so to be the herdsman. Okay, I see. Orion the Hunter, Arcturus, and then Pleiades the seventh sister. When I unscrabbled it, I found like the golden code. It says, I see truth return, so I return on H. Please set evac H IDs. And then, brilliant, because now I've got Thoth, the priest of Yah, and now I have no doubt that he is, because I don't doubt it at all. This guy was telling the truth, even though they tried to say that this translation is, I don't know, nonsense, but then the tablets have gone missing incidentally. But anyway, Marco tie the quest H to the evac hill ×3. Please set evac H IDs. Hill 4 key, H-man, or Messiah key that is, and the hospital is where I was born, and the code for the evac. If you were to tell me how that is even possible, to even find this in the time I found it, and I don't even hunt for it, I just wait, literally. They say about Job's patience, or the patience of Job. Well, it's a job of patience, because I sit for 3 weeks with absolutely nothing. Then in a flash, everything starts to open up. Okay, one last amazing code, well, kind of one and a bit. But like I say, this is absolutely icing on the cake, and tells me it's the last job before whatever not whatever the event is, but I'm not sure the exact day, although I have an idea. But let's just do the code, okay? And it's on the lines of the same as the other one. Let me just move that a second. God, I might have to adjust the camera here, because I'm using, that's an absolute nightmare, this. Okay, it's a big one. What am I doing? I'm moving the screen now. I've got a camera on a tripod. Oh, right. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. I don't know. Let me just switch this light off a minute. Let's get rid of that. Okay, that might make it better. It's a bit dark. Right, okay. As you know, the last, I think 7 or 8 videos, what we've had is basically there's a world event. That's what it amounts to. And then I literally go to the constellations. Once they put this event, whatever the event is, it gets put into my head. And then what we do, well, this event, just for example, is the Jerusalem Hills fire. Okay. At the end of end of April, going into May, the Jerusalem Hills caught fire. Now, previous to that, we had the Palisades fire. We've had the Elon Musk Doge chip put up. Map SOS was the first one, actually. But we've done 8 of them in a row. They all come then. And right, now here's the miracle in this. And that's what this is all about, showing you that I am absolutely, no question, not able to. I would never be able to do this on my own. I am an average intelligent security guard. Make no bones about it. And like I say, I just find this stuff piecemeal. I just wait for the nod, and there it comes. Now, I want to put this in perspective. Okay. Now, I've done, I think it's 7 or 8 codes of this now. This will be the 8th one. And it all comes up with all the different things to unlock, and it confirms everything on the maps, in the pictures. Right, okay. Right. Picking these out of 90 constellations, in fact. The first one, Job's Coffin, is in the Delphinius constellation, but it's not a recognised one, and I only found it by chance, and I'd already drawn it on the map, unbelievably, and there's another code in that, but we won't get into that. Job's Coffin is a constellation not recognised. The Pleiades is neither, actually, but okay, so in effect we've got amazingly, and that's probably relevant, 90 constellations that are used in this code. Okay, so out of 90 constellations, I have had to pick, and I actually experimented this time. I tried not to think about it. I mean, for example, there's only one Job, there's only one J, so it's Job's Coffin. In fact, I can't remember the thing. 1, 2, 1, 2, 7, 8, 2, 4. I'll show you why I'm doing this now. 4, 1, 8. No, I can't write this. Right, I've done them. Right, okay, it's easier to do it this way. I've missed one somewhere. Libra. Okay. Right. Well, right. Just for example, even if I just use, I've messed up somewhere here on the earth, but I mean it's irrelevant to the code. But the point I'm making. Okay, there's only one Job's Coffin, so you know J is going to be Job's Coffin. Obviously, I had to identify the event as well, but as soon as I saw it, I thought, I even texted to Justin, if you can back me up on this in the comments, Justin, I said to you, Jerusalem Fires will be the next code. I had no clue what it was going to say, and it surprised me what it said, and I couldn't uncode it until I'd found Thoth. And Thoth only found less than 2 weeks ago, I think, and obviously since and even that is clearly mentioned in this code when I unscrabble this lot. But what you've got, like for example, that you've got a choice of 2 for Eridanus, which Aquilius is the other one. 1 Reticulum the net, so there's no thing there. 2 Ursa Minor and Ursa Major. 7, there's 7 S's, so that is a massive room for error for picking the wrong one. 8 A's, that's even worse. Then you've got 4 L's of the 8s, I think. I don't know, the S is 8. But as you can see, there's so much room for error. So I've got literally 100% record of, and I did it, just tested it. And I just randomly wrote down, I wrote all the ones that with ones in, and then I thought I'll just throw it in there and see what comes. Well, I did, and got it pinpoint the first time. Unbelievable, because when I encoded what I'm about to show you, well, you'll see that this is the miracle in the code, proving that no human being could do this. And I'm not taking the credit for it. This is down to Yah. He's left it there. This tetragrammaton, the remote anagram satellite, or the Black Knight satellite, this supposed junk in space, is not. It actually controls the matrix. It's been doing it all along. And that's why you've got the codes in the earth. Just puts it into the minds of people to call this place that. And when they're doing it, even over masses of time, not realising they're creating these lines in the map. It's absolutely crazy. Okay, so let's just do it. Job's Coffin, Eridanus, Reticulum the net, Ursa Major the Great Bear, Sagittarius the Archer. And that's a lot of letters. There's an awful lot of U's in that as well. I tell you, this one was an absolute nightmare, if I'm honest, until the final thing when it decides to kind of give me the code, because it always does it on this time thing. You won't get it until it wants you to get it, and then it kind of kicks in, and all of a sudden it all falls in place. Well, unbelievably, and I almost changed this one. I thought maybe I had the hills wrong, just take it out, but I didn't. I did exactly the same with the one previous, the crabapple fires. But ultimately I followed through, and I'll show you the code now. Bear with me. In fact, while you're there, let me just mark this up so I can see where the top of the board is, so I can stay within it. Sorry, folks. Right there. Right, bear with me a second. Okay, folks. Right, I need to get that. Right, okay, you can see. Right, okay, I'll read it anyway. But as you can see, I've had to literally turn the board sideways to fit this one in. Okay, it says, now bear in mind, not only have you got an absolute complete timeline, 100% hit on all these constellations, and not for the first time as it said this. Now, I don't need to say it. I'm letting the code speak for me, really, because there's no way on earth I would say stuff like this. But let's just read it. Jerusalem Hill fires. That's a warning to Israel. It's not right. Though Tetra CC Quest, Trump AI, Nibiru Uncoded, Rue Not. Why did it say that? Because the Tetra CC Quest basically tells you that the simulation is ending. Trump is the Armageddon is the Battle of the Red Magadon, who is Trump. His AI is the Stargate AI, which we've uncoded, and Nibiru is the final act with the sun coming. This is why the planet's weather is going upside down. Be sure of that. I don't know when it appears, but it says uncoded, Rue Not. Now that's because subconsciously, the last seal was the one that I opened, that tetragrammaton seal, was the seventh seal. It's the seventh seal of Solomon, the real revelation, the 999, not the 666 version. Okay, right. Here we go. The Argus ship arrival, first contact upon RGH Siluri House. That's where I was in the womb. That's the house on the side that literally looks onto the temple. Temple hour be near. Okay, it's imminent. I have an idea when, but I'm not going to say it because I don't want to go down that road in case it doesn't happen when I think it's going to happen. But to me, it's pretty, I think it's obvious, but I don't know. Okay, line up Thoth key to Melin. We've done that. Uncode the Vatican Hall of Amen-Ra. We've done that. Right, this is the bit that I've been kind of not hoping. I mean, don't get me wrong. I never set out to disprove Jesus or anything or any other. All I wanted was the truth. And I said in the first video, how do we know what is truth? Do we follow Jesus? They tell you, Muslims will tell you going to hell for following Jesus. Jesus tells you going to hell for following anything but Christianity. That is all the worship of Amen-Ra. Even the church blindly follows the head. I'm afraid it's the same thing. It's the same deception. No truth in Christian crucifixion, Redeemer or return. In other words, this Jesus character, whoever, if he existed, he was not the Messiah. He is not the Redeemer. There was no crucifixion. Therefore, you can't be redeemed or return. He isn't. It's telling you straight for the first time, which is great because he's telling you he's not coming back. To finish job, which is why I said this is probably, the last official video, and it's been 5 years exact. On June the 30th, I gave my business up, and I think that was the contract, the 5-year contract, on an RGH day. Incidentally, I'll show you something funny as well with that. Remember I said DSNs with Atlantis? Well, it is almost a prophecy from the beginning. Right, unbelievably. Right, it means I didn't twig it at the time, but I wouldn't do. But unbelievably, my security badge or door supervision badge, and this is purely, I say coincidental, is obviously meant to be. If you look at the date it expires, it's this coming my birthday on the 30th of June 2025, and that is my door supervision ends. The DSNs. Now, I don't know whether he's telling me that this is... I'm not saying it is. Please don't hold me to it. But is the evac going to... This ship may arrive on my birthday. What a present that would be. But anyway, right, okay. But don't hold me to that. It's not a case of if, is when. And I don't know, I'm not going to say it outrightly because I don't want to put people off if it doesn't happen on my birthday, but there's a lot of things that kind of point, I don't know, but maybe I'm wrong, but either way, to finish, and that would end both jobs as well, because my job finish, this job would finish, my SIA DSNs, that would end when the ship arrived, because I won't need to come here anymore, and I can't wait for that day. Not that this is bad, but okay, to finish job, use Orion's riddle. Okay, he is the one true Messiah. Well, like I say, I could go into more and more detail with Orion's riddle, but it says I take angels all in a belt. I've uncoded that. It shows me as an angel, the icon angel on the RGH, on the top of the ladder, basically, on Jacob's ladder, which gives you the Argus evac as well, or the Argus ship. I take angels all in a belt. I take Jerusalem. Well, Jerusalem backwards is Mel A Sir G. Well, if you fill in the blanks, Melvin, a Sir, and Melvin Guy is my father. Well, I'm the son of Melvin, which is probably the son of a guy. A man is a guy, so he's probably the son of man as well. You take, let's just do it. I'm just waiting for a penny. Okay, Jerusalem backwards. Hang on. Let's just do it. Melvin, a surname, G. Okay, so we got Jerusalem. Okay, right. Take down the added letters, and what you get is vine. Well, unscrabble them, and you get vine man. So Jesus is not the true vine. I am. And that word, I don't know, but either way it's there. And then the son of a guy, well, I am Marco ap Melvin Guy. So I am and a man is Guy. So the son of man, the son of a guy, son of man. Like I say, there's more than this, but I don't even want to get into it. This is what they've shown me, or what he's shown me. This is what he's led me to and show, so I'm just showing it. Like I say, I'm throwing it into the hat. Okay, so we got, it takes Jerusalem. It also gives you the Argus and the Mel, the landing zone and everything. Obviously, you've got where is it? Argus. That's the name of the ship, because it comes from the constellation of the Argus Navis. That's why the ship is called the Argus Navis. It's the constellation Argus Navis, the ship split into four. The keel, I forget where they are, the four of them, but Jerus the crane is one. Okay, to finish, and basically, I be all tricks in a map. Well, we know is all map tricks. That's it. The padlock is the place you unlock the matrix, because by adding, you break the padlock, add P-lock, and then you use the key to unlock the fort and a million other things that I've shown over time. Here's and the actual riddle ends with same as H. So it's, I take angels all in a bell, I take Jerusalem, I be all tricks in a map, same as H. Well, that is just an anagram of folks. I don't know why it's me, I have no idea, and as you'll know, I don't go bragging about this or shouting about it. I don't really care. I mean, if you don't want to believe that bit, at least understand that this is not the case. The creator's name is Yahweh, and even the spelling, it confirmed it. And note as well, this ties the last code, and so on. The Argus ship arrival, all this has already been encoded. I've been encoding this over the last, obviously we got to, well, like I say, and that's the, how was I able to do this in the space since the last video? And bear in mind, I have no clue where this code is going to take me. And Thoth, I never thought, you can't, I don't think you could see that, can you? But Thoth, I never thought in a million years that book of Thoth was going to lead, but he's clearly not. He's the good guy. They've been here, they were here helping us. They probably built free energy and everything else. And we were obviously a much more advanced civilization, but man keeps ruining it. And I think they've done it again. And this is it. We're at that time, and this is why it's all going to come to an end. I don't want it. Do I want it to be the? Wow, that's what I say. Rue not. It tells me to rue not, because subconsciously you do. You think, what have I? I almost think, sometimes what have I done? Like, but I can't do anything about it. It's not me. This has all been set out. I didn't do it. It was set out by the Creator Yahweh long before before I was here. What happened before I got here, I don't know. I think it's some kind of consciousness transfer. I think I volunteered for this job. Go in, become a human, be born, make the mistakes in life, get punished for them, which I did. I lost everything, literally, but turned the right way, turned round from the 666 world to the 999 world, literally, gone. Like I say, but what you need to do, folks, this, again, if nothing happens, you know, over the next few weeks or whatever, and it's still, cause I'm still able to do a video. I might do one, but it'll be, I don't know whether it'll be code, but I'll, you know, try and, maybe I'll do a personal one that kind of tries to sum everything up, because, right, okay, you need to stand in a letter Y. That's encoded in Thoth as well. This whole thing, yeah. Put your sins on your palms, offer them up. Apologise for everything. This is the Cancer map, incidentally, upside down. That's why the river seal, the Sabbath seal, the river seal of Solomon is in a reflection. The river, that's the river Severn or the river Sab. Even the Severn estuary says and if you notice, it flows out to where the Scilly Isles or whatever they're called, where Atlantis would have been at the mouth of the Severn, on the mouth of the Severn estuary. Well, if you take the word Severn estuary, it says never true. Well, it wasn't. It's always been the Sab. The Romans changed it to Sabrina to cover it. And I think this is where he says, look, seek her wisdom or something, but obviously it's all code. But it's the Sab where and you've got Bath as well, which happens to have the crest of Simeon on it, which is the Siluri crest, and the fort, it's got like a castle on it. I think it's got 3 waves. Oh, this is awful, but you've got the sword, which represents words. This is the crest of Simeon. This is a castle, like a fort, but it's the fort on the Sab. Words. It's all words because code. It's an Atlas code as well. This is the tribe symbol of Simeon as well. Sim 1. I'm Sim 1. The simulator. I'm number one in the simulation, but it's on the Bath crest. It should tell you something. That's your Sabbath fort on the river Sab, which is where you take my Sabbath at Rooster. I've been doing it 4 or 5 years. Oh, I don't know. This camera is driving me nuts today. But the whole thing has been covered up. Yahweh, this is who you call on. Don't go to him with a double heart. Don't go calling on Jesus. I'm telling you now, that is not the way to do it. But if you know, he's the only one. This is who saves. He's the one that saves you. That's why it says, I return on H. He's coming here. The ancient ones are coming back. This is what and it's not don't fall for this Anunnaki fallen angels nonsense. I don't even know whether that fallen angel story might not even be, it's part true or not. You know, there's more to this than meets the eye, I'm sure of it. There's a deception involved in it, and they're going to play this as the fallen angels returning. There's even talk in the Pentagon as we speak. You know, go on TikTok and put Anunnaki returning or whatever. But you know, when they return, they're not the bad guys. They're certainly here to take out. Well, I wouldn't want to be in the shoes of Trump and Fink and all the rest of them. But the order is war first. We're waiting for the Cancer constellation as well. The message in there, not forgetting that all the stars uncoded. Israel, Iran begin. Opens up last conflict. USA, China. UK, Europe, Russia. Both thy last I am Jew message seal all. Well, the seal, and amazingly, the message in the eclipses, which was my last I am Jew message that I decoded, was as Jew, evac ship land Melin, seal Marco's Orion name. Again, Marco's Orion name, same as H, Messiah. I don't know how, I don't know why, but on that note, I'm going to bid you farewell, and like I say, get right with the Creator now, folks. Time is seriously running out. Yah's blessings to you all. That if you